course, Israel has the right to defend itself. The United States has been clear about that. But the Iranians seem to be trying to determine how badly the United States wants to keep this ceasefire in place to see how much the United States is going to permit Israel to continue defending itself or to do what the Iranians want us to do, which is to restrain Israel. Of course, that would be a deadly mistake. Hezbollah is responsible for the deaths of Americans as well as Israelis and is an enemy of the United States as well.
The vice president was on with Fox and Friends this morning.
So here's the thing: if I was Islamic Republic, I would have to find a balance between showing to insiders within the regime that we're not going to stand by and not respond to Israeli attacks, right? And also the parts of the regime that doesn't want any ceasefire to show to them that we're doing enough with Hezbollah attacking Israel to disrupt the negotiations, while at the same time keeping the level of tension at a level that Trump could say that, meh, this is not that big of a deal. Or if it gets too much of a big deal, to just bomb a few places in Iran and be like, we responded. Let's go back to negotiations now, right? That is the dance here. That is the dance between these four players, right? The Islamic Republic, the United States, Israel, and Hezbollah. Okay. The Islamic Republic, at least Ghalibaf within the Islamic Republic, is asking itself, how could I make the insiders happy? There's two types of insiders. The insiders who want a deal, right? There's three. The insiders who are saying, let's make sure we get a deal. The insiders who are saying, fuck the deal, make sure you do it to disrupt it. And the insiders who are saying are more interested in making sure that Hezbollah is not abandoned, right? And also Ghalibaf has to also make sure that Trump is not too upset. So the people within the regime that want the deal to happen, they're showing them like, guys, we're not responding that strongly to Israel, only a little bit. So we're not pissing off Trump too much. Also, we know that Trump is worried about the midterms anyways. So we're good over there. So he's not going to attack us too much. And then when it comes to the regime people who are worried about Hezbollah, they're saying, look, the blockade has been open, so we have enough money to spend on Hezbollah to support our brothers in Lebanon against Israel. So those should be happy. And then when it comes to the people who don't want a deal, they're saying, look, where Hezbollah is responding to Israel, and hopefully that would get the deal, stop the negotiations. We're showing to President Trump that we're not going to agree, like we're not going to talk as long as Israel is attacking to Lebanon. We keep canceling the negotiations, and we encourage Hezbollah to keep defending itself. And then we tell President Trump this is all for a show. We are holding Hezbollah back, but obviously we can't hold them back too much, because then we will have an uprising within the regime. The attacks on Israel are only a little bit. So please just calm down and let us attack northern Israel at least a little bit. And if it gets too much, then okay, bomb a few places in Iran and then call it a really massive attack, and then we'll go back to the negotiations. This is the dynamics here, right? And let's go to, okay, we got more super chats. Thank you, guys. We reached our goal. Sherry with the super chat saying, if Mexico acted like Lebanon about their cartels, the U.S. will make Mexico our 51st state. Go Israel. I know. I think, I don't know if there would be a Mexico left if anything remotely close to that happened. That's a very good point, Sherry. Thank you so much. Honestly, any country, if what Hezbollah was doing to Israel, if it happened to any other country on earth, the whole world would be like, yeah, obviously, go fuck them up. And thank you, Sherry, for the super chat. And Ginga, thank you so much for the super chat, saying JD is a Jew hater in disguise. He wants Israel gone. Well, I would say this: JD Vance is he knows he has Jew haters in his base, and he wants to appeal to them. So in effect, he will becomes a Jew hater by proxy, in my opinion. Yeah. Yeah, maybe JD is the Jew hater that shows up in our chat sometimes. What happened to him, by the way? Is he broke now? And thank you for the super chat. Fleshy Interloper with the super chat. Thank you, guys. Saying Trump is backing all the horses. Yeah, yeah, on all sides. Yeah. But guys, again, I know we're frustrated, but to be fair to President Trump, is if he's doing what I'm saying, which I don't know if he's doing, is pretty smart. And we don't know. We'll know after the midterms, maybe, right? So I'm not coming up with excuses. I'm not coming up with excuses to saying like, oh, this is 5D chess. I'm saying like, if, some people always say it's 5D chess, have faith. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying that if it is 5D chess, this is what a 5D chess would look like. You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying if it was 5D chess, this is what it would look like with Ghalibaf as the inside man, basically moving against all the different segments of the Islamic Republic. And then we got another super chat. Thank you so much, guys. From Amir the Cricket, saying, looking forward to see if Starmer leave office tomorrow. Yeah, I saw that. That's amazing. I wouldn't believe it so much, but Tusi also said it's supposed to be happening. UK, please heal up. Yeah, I actually saw from formal places that it seems like this is happening. So now it's more believable. So that's pretty good. If it's happening, hopefully. We should talk about that in our discussion group later today. That's a good point. Yeah. And then thank you, Amy, for the super chat. And then Sherry with the super chat saying, I stole Golly Barf from another great person in the chat, but GLB is yours, Armin. Good little bitch. GLB. Okay, Golly Barf. Oh yeah, GLB comes from me. Oh yeah, you're right. I thought GLB was short for Golly Barf. Okay, but good little bitch. Okay, GLB. That that matches his name as well. A good little bitch. Just good little bitch. Thank you, Sherry. That's a good one. But I think I should just say it, a good little bitch. GLB. Like every time I should say good little bitch for Golly Barf. You know what? I will show you how good of a little bitch she's being. Do you guys want to see? Do you guys want to see how good of a little bitch Ghalibaf is being? I'll show you some video evidence of that. And I will show after this segment. And then we have Lamborghini saying, hey, Armin, why no revolutionary fest tonight? You don't like me like this? I got a haircut for you guys, and you want me to? I went and got a haircut for you guys, and you want me to hide it? But thank you. Thank you for the super chat. And then we have Amir gifting 5 memberships for people in the chat. Thank you so much, Amir. Always with the gifts. Always with the gifts. Okay, let me go through a little bit more of this because this guy is good. This guy usually have some really good points. So let's listen to what he's from FDD, Tyler Blue.
Some news. He's going to be heading to Switzerland in a couple of days, he said, to help with these negotiations. I want to play a quick soundbite because there's been some criticism over this memorandum of understanding, Ben, and this is the vice president pushing back on that. Watch here.
What the MOU says is that if the Iranians behave over a long period of time, they could get some of the benefits of this bargain. They assume that Iran gets the benefits without changing their behavior. That's not in the text of the agreement.
You understand how the Iranians think, and you do too, Rebecca. Are they going to behave?
Well, they're not behaving right now.
Right.
And despite even the transformational rhetoric, literally Vice President Vance using the T word transformation when he was talking about the MOU and the historic distrust between the U.S. and Iran, there's nothing transformational about Iranian rhetoric today. And there's certainly nothing transformational about Iranian policy today. They're not looking to change the situation in the Strait of Hormuz. They want to continue to have a sword of Damocles over that. They're going to continue this incremental escalation via their chief terrorist proxy, Lebanese Hezbollah, against Israel. It's a group that, again, as Rebecca said, has American blood on its hands. And also, they're going to play to the edge diplomatically in Switzerland or wherever else the Americans and the Iranians negotiate, just to see how badly America wants it, just so that they can charge them more and more for it. And to the point that this regime isn't, benefiting already from the status quo, one, increase in sanctions has been paused, and two, the Strait of Hormuz, the blockade is open. And one of the chief beneficiaries is not the global economy, it's not the United States of America, it's the Islamic Republic of Iran. The Trump's blockade diminished Iran's major source of revenue. That's the resources used to fight. 2.1 million barrels of oil per day exported in February. By May, it was only 64,000 barrels of oil per day.
The Trump administration would say that it worked, right? I mean, the blockade worked. It got them to a weaker spot. Their Navy has been obliterated. They don't really have any defense mechanisms anymore. And he felt like this was the time to get them to cave, to come to a deal. Why do you think that's not going to happen?
Well, first of all, the Iranians clearly predicated their agreeing to this ceasefire on the United States front-loading economic benefits to Iran. So one of the things the vice president said was that we're looking for a change in their behavior before they get economic relief. But if you look at the plain reading of the text in Provision 10, the United States, is waiving sanctions on energy and the attendant ability, banking, to facilitate that economic benefit that's going to go straight to the IRGC.
Well, I mean, how does it, so that would be disappointing if you get sanction relief before, look at this, before you get to see any behavioral changes.
Get economic relief. But if you, vice president said was that we're looking for a change in their behavior before they get economic relief. But if you look at the plain reading of the text in Provision 10, the United States, is waiving sanctions on.
Are we waiving sanctions? Are you, United States? Are you waiving sanctions? Don't you isn't that like a complicated? So she's saying that JD Vance has said that we're not going to remove the economic pressure until we see any behavioral changes. This lady is saying that no, that's not what's happening. We're doing sanction relief before we see any behavioral change from the Islamic Republic. Correct me if I'm wrong, Americans in the chat. Doesn't sanction relief require Congress approval? Isn't that like a complicated process that you can't just give to the Islamic Republic? Can anybody answer me, Americans in the chat? I thought this requires Congress approval. Do you guys know? Anybody knows? I thought, how could President Trump come and just give the Islamic Republic sanction removal? There's two types of sanction removal: U.S. sanction removal and UN sanction removal. The U.S. sanction removal requires Congress, so I don't think that they got sanction removal, unless I'm missing something here. And then the UN sanction removal requires the UN approval, and that is a complicated shit as well. That requires member states responding to that. Yeah, Congress will have to approve. People are saying in the chat. So how the fuck are we claiming that President Trump gave sanction removal to the Islamic Republic before behavioral changes, given that the president can't? Anybody knows? Yeah, it does have to be approved. People, you guys are saying in the chat. So what am I missing here? Am I more informed than this lady here? So here's guys, let's categorize everything that they're being promising to the Islamic Republic in different segments. Okay, let's do this together, right? We have the $24 billion of frozen asset relief. That is not sanction removal. That's $24 billion in frozen assets of the Islamic Republic given to them. We have the $300 billion promise of a fund for private entities to come invest in Iran in the private sector, private to private. That's the 300 number. We have the sanction removal, which is in two sections, US sanctions and UN sanctions. Sanction removal, which the US sanction removal requires Congress approval, and the UN sanction removal requires UN approval. So that's number 3. Then we have the blockade removal. Okay, the blockade removal. That's the four financial benefits discussed here, and they're separate. Did I miss something? Oh, somebody is saying yes, you are more informed than Fox News. Well, thank you. Oh, there you go. I didn't say it, guys. That's in the comments. Okay, you can't argue with the comments.
My name is Armin Navabi. I'm an Iranian political analyst with decades of experience fighting the Islamic regime inside and outside of Iran. Make sure you follow me for more, and also make sure you join our discussion group. I'm there almost every single day. Come talk to me there and the rest of the people there in our group calls. It's a great place to meet and talk to people who like talking about politics. The link is in the description and or in the bio. You could also get there by scanning the QR code on the screen. See you there.